My friends, there comes a time in each person's journey when they must confront the truth not about the world, but about themselves. Time is the one thing we all share equally. It does not discriminate. The poor man and the rich woman are given the same 24 hours in a day. Yet how we use it, how we honor it, that is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the lost from the leaders. Too many live as though they have time in abundance, as though tomorrow is promised. They speak of what they will do, who they might become, and where they hope to go someday. But that day, my friends, is not found in a calendar. It only comes when we act. Let us not waste our days in the comfort of excuses. Comfort is seductive. It whispers that we can wait, that we are not ready, that life will somehow pause for us. But life waits for no one. The most powerful men and women you admire, those who build nations, shape ideas, and rise from struggle, they did not waste their time mourning their limits. They used their pain as fuel. They did not wait for the perfect moment. They made the moment perfect by acting with purpose. Success does not favor the loudest voice or the biggest ambition. It favors those who take the next small, necessary step, again and again, without delay. So I say this: stop waiting for the world to change for you. Change yourself for the world. Stop asking if you are good enough. Decide that you are. Stop seeking permission to begin. Begin. Your time is not just minutes and hours. It is your life. Treat it like the sacred fire it is. Guard it. Feed it. Use it to light the way. Not just for yourself, but for those who walk beside you and those who come after you. The future does not belong to the passive. It belongs to the brave, so rise now, speak now, act now, because the most powerful decision you will ever make is not about what you dream, but what you do with the time you've been given. Time is the great equalizer. It places all people, regardless of wealth, status, race, or background, on the same starting line each day. No one can buy more of it. No one can slow it down or pause it. Each morning, every individual is handed 24 hours. It is the most democratic resource in existence. And yet, it is also the most misused, the most underestimated, and often the most disrespected. The value of time does not lie in its quantity, but in how it is used. Two people can live through the same number of days, but one may achieve a legacy while the other reaches the end full of regret. The difference isn't luck. It's not intelligence. It's intention. It's how they choose to use the time they are given. Time rewards action. It honors consistency, and it demands presence. If you ignore it, it does not shout. It simply moves on. The rich and the poor alike face the same ticking clock. The only difference lies in how they treat those precious seconds. Some use it to learn, to create, to serve, to grow. Others waste it in indecision, in fear, in distraction, or in pursuits that lead nowhere. Time doesn't care who you are. It only reflects what you do. That is what makes it so fair and so powerful. You may lose money and make it back. You may fail and rise again. But once a moment is gone, it is irretrievable. No apology, no excuse, no intention can restore it. This is why time is the most valuable asset you will ever have. People often claim they don't have enough time, but time is not hiding from them. It is not a mystery. It's just often spent on things that do not serve them. Hours disappear into meaningless habits and digital distractions. Days pass in passive routines that offer no growth. Weeks turn into years of putting off dreams, waiting for motivation, or promising oneself that next month will be different. The tragedy is not that we run out of time. It's that we throw so much of it away. Those who understand the value of time treat it with discipline. They don't wait for inspiration to strike. They schedule it. They don't leave their goals to chance. They break them into actions. They are not reckless with the minutes between tasks, nor are they careless with the hours meant for rest and recovery. They respect time the way a master craftsman respects their tools, with care, with attention, and with purpose. Time is also a mirror. It shows you what you truly value. Look at how someone spends their hours, and you will see what drives them. Is it growth or escape? Creation or consumption? Purpose or passivity? You cannot lie to time. It exposes every priority and every avoidance. It reveals where your energy goes and whether your dreams are truly desires or just empty wishes. There is nothing dramatic about how time moves. It does not come in waves. It flows steadily, moment by moment, asking you to decide. What now? What matters in this breath, this task, this hour? That decision, repeated thousands of times, is what builds a life. And while you may not control the length of your time on earth, you absolutely control the depth of it. You decide if your hours are filled with growth or decay, impact or distraction, progress or delay. In a world full of imbalance, time is the one constant that treats all people the same. The only question is what you will do with it. Every second is a vote for the life you want to live. Every hour is an opportunity to change. And the people who make the most of their lives are not the ones who had more time, but the ones who truly saw its worth. The illusion of someday is one of the most comfortable traps a person can fall into. It offers the soothing feeling of progress without requiring any actual movement. It gives the mind a false sense of security, whispering promises that time is abundant, that the right moment is just around the corner, and that one day, when everything is perfectly aligned, you'll finally begin. But that day rarely comes. Someday is not a day of the week, and it never appears on a calendar. It is a word people use to hide their hesitation, their fears, and their indecision. There is a dangerous comfort in postponing the life you want to live. It allows you to keep your dreams at a safe distance, untouched, untested, and therefore unthreatened by failure. As long as your goals remain in the future, they remain pure in your imagination. But dreams that are never acted upon lose their power. They become weight instead of wings. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to begin, not because the task grows more difficult, but because your own belief in your ability starts to fade. Many people don't realize that someday thinking is deeply rooted in fear. Fear of starting, fear of failing, fear of change. It wears the mask of responsibility and practicality. It says, now isn't the right time, or I'll be ready after this season, or it's just too risky right now. But beneath that surface is a quiet resistance to discomfort. Growth, however, only lives on the other side of discomfort. Action is the only thing that breaks the spell of fear, and the only cure for hesitation is movement. The truth is, life will never offer a perfect moment. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be obstacles. Waiting for everything to be just right is like waiting for the sea to be still before learning to swim. Life requires that you begin where you are, with what you have, even if your hands are shaking. You don't need to be fearless to act. You need to be brave enough to act while feeling afraid. The courage to take the first step is more powerful than the desire to wait for perfect conditions. People who avoid the illusion of someday understand that the present is the only place where life happens. They know that someday is a thief of time, a dream killer dressed as patience. They don't wait for motivation. They create it by taking action. They don't rely on clarity. They gain it through doing. They don't get caught up in preparing endlessly. They begin and adjust along the way. The path becomes clear with each step taken, not with endless planning in stillness. Time moves with or without your permission, and the longer you wait, the more life you leave unlived. You may think you are playing it safe by waiting, but in truth, you are risking the one thing you cannot get back: time. Every day that passes is a day you could have used to grow, to build, to become the person you know you're capable of being. Someday, thinking robs you of that transformation. It keeps you in the same place, repeating the same patterns, living in the shadow of a future you never touch. You don't need to make giant leaps. You only need to start. One honest conversation, one page written, 1 hour of effort, one decision made. When you stop believing in someday and start believing in today, everything changes. Because real progress begins the moment you choose to stop waiting and start moving. Comfort is a beautiful thing, but it can quickly become a silent prison. At its core, comfort feels safe, warm, familiar. It protects you from risk, shields you from uncertainty, and offers a predictable rhythm to your days. But hidden beneath that sense of safety is a slow erosion of growth. Comfort breeds stagnation, not because it is bad, but because it convinces you that there is no need to move, to stretch, or to strive for something more. It lulls you into a routine that may feel easy, but leaves little room for evolution. The human mind is wired to seek stability. We are naturally drawn to habits, patterns, and anything that minimizes discomfort. That's why staying in your comfort zone often feels like the right decision. You know what to expect. You know the outcomes. There are no surprises, no failures, no embarrassment, but growth. Real, lasting, transformative growth only happens when you step outside of that space. It demands struggle, effort, and the willingness to look uncertain, to make mistakes, and to start again. Comfort makes you feel like time is on your side. It tells you there's no rush, no urgency, that what you have now is good enough. And sometimes it is. But if you stay there too long, good enough becomes a ceiling instead of a floor. You stop dreaming bigger, reaching further, or challenging yourself. You stop asking difficult questions. You stop learning. You stop becoming. People who live in comfort often avoid discomfort, not because they are lazy, but because they have forgotten what growth feels like. They don't remember the thrill of doing something for the first time or the strength found in pushing past a limit they once thought was permanent. Comfort makes you forget how capable you are. It shrinks your ambition and dims the fire that once pushed you forward. Over time, it replaces your curiosity with routine and your purpose with distraction. The danger of comfort is also that it's socially accepted. People rarely question those who live a quiet, risk-free life. In fact, they often admire it. Stability is celebrated, but what's rarely discussed is the silent cost of that stability. The dreams set aside, the skills never developed, the potential never realized. It's not that comfort is the enemy. It's that staying there too long robs you of becoming who you were meant to be. Challenge is where character is built. Pain is where purpose is discovered. Struggle is where strength is earned. These experiences are uncomfortable, yes, but they are also necessary. Every great achievement is born from a period of discomfort. Every meaningful change begins with the willingness to break a pattern. You don't grow by repeating what's easy. You grow by embracing what's difficult and learning how to rise within it. The people who inspire us, leaders, creators, builders, they did not arrive at their success by avoiding discomfort. They leaned into it. They chose growth over ease. They said yes to things that scared them and took steps when the outcome wasn't guaranteed. They understood that discomfort is not a sign to turn back. It's a sign that you're on the edge of something important. If your life feels too predictable, too easy, too quiet, it might be a signal that you've become too comfortable, that you've settled into a place that no longer challenges you. And while there's nothing wrong with rest or stability, staying there permanently comes at a cost. You may not see it today, but over time, the discomfort you avoided becomes the regret you carry. To escape stagnation, you must be willing to disturb your comfort, to question your routines, to take risks that force you to grow. Because in the end, the life you want is not found inside your comfort zone. It's waiting just beyond it. Success is not built on one big moment. It's not the result of a lucky break or a sudden flash of brilliance. It is the product of consistent action taken over time, often in quiet, unseen moments when no one is watching. The people who achieve what others only dream of are not necessarily more talented or more fortunate. They are more consistent. They show up when it's hard. They work when it's boring. They move forward when motivation fades. They do not wait to feel ready or inspired. They rely on discipline, not emotion. Taking consistent action means choosing progress over perfection. It means doing something every day, no matter how small, that moves you closer to your goals. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can accomplish in a year through steady effort. The truth is, results rarely come from intense bursts of effort followed by long periods of inactivity. They come from small, focused steps taken repeatedly. Growth compounds, habits build, momentum forms. What starts as a small act, like reading 10 pages, waking up early, or practicing a skill, eventually becomes part of who you are. The power of consistency is that it creates reliability. It makes success predictable, not accidental. If you write 1 page a day, you have a book in a year. If you save a little each month, you build wealth. If you improve your skill by 1% each day, you're vastly more capable in a matter of weeks. These actions may seem small in the moment, but they are the foundation of excellence. You don't need to do everything today. You just need to do something, and then do it again tomorrow. Many people are trapped in the cycle of starting and stopping. They go all in for a week, then disappear for a month. They wait for the perfect plan, the perfect mindset, or the perfect conditions. But the truth is, consistency beats intensity when intensity is inconsistent. Showing up every day, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient, is far more powerful than a single day of inspired effort. The results that matter in life are earned through repetition, not rare effort. Consistency is also a form of self-respect. It's the practice of keeping the promises you make to yourself. Every time you follow through, you strengthen your belief in your own reliability. You begin to trust yourself. That trust becomes confidence, and that confidence fuels even more action. On the other hand, when you constantly start and stop, when you give in to excuses, you weaken your self-image. You train your mind to expect failure, and over time, that belief becomes a habit, too. Taking consistent action doesn't mean doing the same thing over and over without thinking. It means committing to the process while staying open to learning and adjusting along the way. It's about having a system, a rhythm, a structure that allows you to stay on course even when life gets messy. It's not about being rigid. It's about being resilient. There will be days when you feel tired, discouraged, or unsure. There will be moments when progress feels slow or invisible. That is when consistency matters most. It is easy to act when everything is going well. The real test is whether you can keep going when nothing seems to be changing. Because the change is happening just beneath the surface. Every action is a seed planted, and like all seeds, they take time to grow. If you want to build something meaningful, dream, a career, a life, you must stop relying on bursts of effort. You must embrace the power of doing a little every day without fail. It is not about being perfect. It is about being persistent. And when you take consistent action, the results will come. Not all at once, but inevitably. One of the greatest obstacles to progress is the belief that everything must be perfect before you begin. That you must have the perfect plan, the perfect mindset, the perfect resources, that you must know exactly how things will turn out before taking the first step. But perfection is an illusion. It's a moving target that constantly shifts just out of reach. The more you chase it, the more it delays your journey. The pursuit of perfection often masks fear, fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. But if you wait until you're perfect, you'll wait forever. Progress doesn't come from flawless execution. It comes from movement, from momentum, from messy starts and awkward first steps. It comes from showing up when you're unsure, creating when you don't feel ready, and pushing forward despite the flaws. Growth happens in the process, not in the preparation. What matters most is not how perfectly you begin, but that you begin at all. Imperfect action will always beat perfect inaction. Perfectionism also keeps people locked in hesitation. It convinces you to keep tweaking, editing, overthinking. It tells you the timing isn't right, that you need more information, more validation, more experience. But deep down, what you often need is just the courage to begin with what you have. No one ever changed their life by waiting for the stars to align. They changed it by deciding that now was good enough to start. Alongside perfection, many people feel the need for permission to be validated, accepted, or approved before pursuing their goals. This need is deeply rooted in the desire to be safe and to belong. From a young age, many are conditioned to wait for authority figures to say yes, or teachers to grade them, bosses to promote them, family to support them. But in the pursuit of your own dreams, the only permission you need is your own. Waiting for others to tell you it's okay to start gives away your power. It keeps you playing small, asking for acceptance instead of taking ownership. The truth is, no one will ever give you the full green light. No one can fully understand your vision the way you do. And often, the people you wait on for permission are trapped in their own fears and limitations. If you wait for their approval, you may never move. The most impactful people are not the ones who waited until they had every answer. They are the ones who acted despite uncertainty. They didn't ask for permission to lead, to build, to create. They claimed it. They were willing to risk rejection, to face criticism, to look foolish at times. And because of that, they grew. They gained wisdom through experience, not through planning. They learned by doing, not by waiting. You are not required to be perfect to be powerful. You are not required to be ready to begin. You are not required to have validation from anyone to pursue what calls you. What matters is your decision to act, to trust that your willingness to try matters more than your fear of doing it wrong, to understand that action is not about proving anything to anyone. It's about discovering who you become in the process. The real freedom comes when you stop chasing perfection and stop seeking permission. When you decide that progress matters more than image. When you realize that your journey is yours alone to walk, and you do not owe anyone an explanation for the steps you take. The world does not need more perfect people. It needs real ones, people willing to show up as they are, take action and grow through the journey. Your time is not just a tool to measure your days. It is your life itself. Every second that passes is a piece of your existence, a moment you can never reclaim. When you spend time, you are spending life. And yet, many people treat time casually, as if it were endless, as if it could be paused, traded, or delayed. But time waits for no one. It moves with relentless precision, indifferent to how you use it. That's why understanding that your time is your life is one of the most powerful realizations you can have. People often believe they'll have more time later, more time to pursue their dreams, more time to fix what's broken, more time to spend with loved ones, but life does not operate on the illusion of later. It is happening now in every decision you make, every distraction you indulge, every opportunity you ignore, and every moment you choose not to be present. You don't lose life in years, you lose it in minutes. In the conversations you didn't have, the risks you didn't take, the things you kept putting off because you thought there'd be more time. When you give your time to something, you give a part of your life to it. This is why it's so important to be intentional with how you spend it. Not everything deserves your energy. Not every demand deserves a yes. Not every minute should be given away so easily. The truth is, many people are bankrupt in time, not because they don't have enough of it, but because they keep spending it on things that do not matter, on toxic relationships, meaningless arguments, pointless scrolling, and distractions that pull them away from who they want to be. You cannot manage your life without managing your time. Your habits are simply how you use your time on repeat. Your priorities are made visible in your schedule. Look at where your hours go, and you'll see the story of your life being written in real time. If that story is filled with avoidance, noise, and chaos, then that is the life you are building, whether you meant to or not. But if you begin to align your time with your values, your goals, your dreams, then your life begins to reflect the things that matter most to you. Time is also a test of truth. People say they want to change, to grow, to build, to become more. But if their time is not aligned with those desires, those words mean nothing. The gap between what you say you want and how you spend your time is where your real life exists. If you truly value your future, your time must reflect that in the present. If you truly care about someone, your time must go toward them. Talk is cheap. Time is commitment. What makes time even more precious is its non-renewable nature. You can always earn more money, find new opportunities, or start fresh in many areas of life. But the time that slips through your fingers is gone forever, and no one knows exactly how much of it they have left. That uncertainty is not meant to create fear, it's meant to bring clarity. It's meant to wake you up, to help you recognize that this moment is all you're guaranteed, and it deserves to be lived fully. Treating your time with the respect it deserves means living on purpose. It means eliminating what drains you and investing in what fulfills you. It means being present, not just busy, focused, not frantic. It means realizing that every hour is a choice, and those choices, stacked day after day, become your reality. You don't need more hours. You need to own the ones you have, because when you truly understand that your time is your life, you stop wasting it, and you start living it. To lead by example is to embody the values, habits, and principles you wish to see in others. It's not about titles or authority. It's about influence earned through consistency and integrity. True leadership is not declared. It is demonstrated. The most powerful leaders don't demand respect. They earn it. They don't shout orders from above. They walk beside others, showing what's possible through their actions. People don't follow words. They follow behavior. What you do speaks far louder than what you say. Every day, in big ways and small, you are setting an example. Whether you're aware of it or not, someone is watching how you show up, how you handle pressure, how you treat others, and how you respond to setbacks. You lead by how you live, not just by what you say. If you preach discipline but consistently make excuses, people will follow your actions, not your advice. If you speak about excellence but settle for mediocrity, your words will lose weight. But if you model the effort, attitude, and accountability you want to inspire, others will naturally rise with you. Leadership rooted in example is powerful because it builds trust. People trust what they can see and feel, not just what they are told. When your actions align with your words, people begin to believe in you. They begin to believe that you're not asking them to do something you wouldn't do yourself. That trust creates unity, commitment, and a shared sense of purpose. It's what transforms a group into a team, and a vision into a mission. Leading by example also means taking responsibility, especially when it's hard. It means showing up even when no one is watching, making the tough calls, and holding yourself to a higher standard. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real, being consistent, and being accountable. When you own your mistakes, when you admit you don't have all the answers, you give others permission to do the same. You create a culture where honesty and growth matter more than image. This kind of leadership starts with self-awareness. You can't lead others effectively if you don't know who you are and what you stand for. You must know your values and commit to living by them, especially when it's inconvenient. You must be willing to look in the mirror, to ask hard questions, and to evolve. Because leadership is not static. It's a daily choice to be better, to serve, to grow. Leading by example is contagious. When you bring energy, others feel it. When you stay calm under pressure, others learn how to do the same. When you give your best effort, others are inspired to raise their game. You don't need to force change. You simply need to embody it. People naturally mirror what they respect and admire. If you want a culture of resilience, be resilient. If you want honesty, be honest. If you want initiative, take initiative. Change begins with what you model. One of the most powerful aspects of leading by example is that it doesn't require a specific position or title. Anyone can lead. A student can lead by showing respect. A parent can lead by being present. An employee can lead by taking pride in their work. Leadership is not a rank. It's a responsibility. And that responsibility starts with how you live your life. Ultimately, the legacy of a leader is not in the speeches they give or the authority they hold. It's in the impact they make through consistent, authentic action. When you lead by example, you light a path that others can follow, not because they have to, but because they want to. That is the essence of true leadership. The future does not wait for those who hesitate. It does not pause for those who seek comfort or certainty. The future belongs to the bold, the ones who dare to step forward when the path is unclear, the ones who act in the face of doubt, and the ones who choose courage over convenience. Boldness is not recklessness. It is the willingness to move despite fear. It is the decision to trust in yourself, your vision, and your ability to adapt, even when nothing is guaranteed. Every great achievement in history began with someone choosing to be bold. Innovation, progress, and breakthroughs are never born from safety. They are born from someone daring to question what is and imagining what could be. The bold are not the ones with all the answers. They are the ones who are willing to seek them. They don't wait to be chosen. They choose themselves. They don't ask for permission. They give themselves the authority to begin. Being bold means stepping into unfamiliar territory. It means taking risks that might not work out. It means facing failure, rejection, and criticism, but doing it anyway. Bold people understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone toward it. They know that playing small doesn't protect you from pain. It only ensures that you never experience the full power of your potential. Comfort zones are not safe havens. They are cages disguised as peace, and the bold refuse to live confined. The future rewards those who act with intention. In a world that changes rapidly, waiting too long to move can mean being left behind. Boldness is about urgency with purpose, not rushing blindly, but recognizing that time is precious and that opportunities rarely knock twice. It's about seeing possibilities where others see problems and taking initiative when others are still thinking about it. The bold understand that momentum is a powerful force, and they create it by taking the first step. Boldness also demands authenticity. To be bold is to show up as your true self, even when the world tries to shape you into something else. It's about speaking your truth, standing for your values, and pursuing your passion, even when it's unpopular. The bold are not driven by approval. They are guided by purpose. They are willing to be misunderstood, even judged, because they know who they are and what they believe in. They understand that impact comes not from fitting in, but from standing out. The bold inspire others not through perfection, but through their courage. When you see someone take a leap, it challenges you to ask why you're still standing still. Boldness is magnetic because it awakens the part of us that wants to be free, the part that wants to live fully, loudly, and unapologetically. When you are bold, you give others permission to be bold too. You become a catalyst for change, not just in your own life, but in the lives of those around you. The future belongs to the bold because the bold shape the future. They don't sit and wait for the world to change. They are the ones who change it. They build what doesn't exist. They speak what others are afraid to say. They chase dreams others call impossible. And through their persistence, their vision, and their unwillingness to settle, they turn those dreams into reality. Every moment is a choice, to shrink or to rise, to wait or to move, to follow or to lead. The bold make their choice with clarity and conviction. They do not know what tomorrow holds, but they refuse to let fear write their story. They know the only way to claim the future is to meet it head on, with open eyes, strong hearts, and unshakable courage.